Hello, lovelies. It is Wednesday, May 21st in the United States and Canada, and this is a show called What Chaos presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code What Chaos. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and across the room is the great Sean DePaz. Pete Blackburn, welcome back to the NHL playoffs.
I guess. Not really, though.
What do you mean you guess?
Tweeted this last
Are
night.
you fucking kidding me?
Tweeted this last night. It's like 2 straight days of non-playoff hockey because last night, a real snoozer left me wanting more. I'll say that.
Was it the best game?
Left you wanting more of that?
No, it left me wanting more, like bring more to the table for me. And when I say it was a real snoozer, it's not because the Carolina Hurricanes played and were boring. It's because they played and kind of didn't really show up too much. So
I got thoughts on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But before we get to today on the show, Sean, how are you today?
Pretty good. Happy birthday to all of my goats, me, the love of your life, and NFL MVP Josh Allen.
Is today actually your birthday?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Sean's birthday is famously in July. But
yes.
But now, like, if you say it yourself, I feel like we're always the ones who have to say happy birthday, Sean. Because if you say it's my birthday, then like you have to have a real birthday at some point.
I do.
Happy birthday to Utah Mammoth defenseman.
Utah Mastodon Elephants.
Oh, Mastodon Elephants.
Yes.
People don't know about that, but somebody fill me in real quick. Like 10
It
seconds?
was the president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce when he was talking about how the Diamondbacks need updates on their stadium. Said, we have to be careful or else they'll become the Utah something or something. They already took our hockey team and named them the Utah Mastodon Elephants. He was very upset about the Coyotes leaving.
He thought he cooked, and he did.
He kind of did.
And we're just going to call them that now.
The
Mastodon Elephants.
But not in a like angry, pissy Arizona way. In a like cool name.
Yeah.
The Dons. That's what I'm going to call them.
That's right. Utah Dons.
Okay. It is Utah Don defenseman Whom's birthday.
Today?
Yes.
Sean Dursey.
No. 28 years young is this person.
Sergachev?
No.
No, he had his recently, I think.
Uso Valimaki.
No.
Michael
Ian Cole.
Kesselring. No, Michael Kesselring's younger than that.
No. This is a huge...
Oh, Mikhail Sergachev?
No. It's a big... I forgot that guy was on their team, and he's kind of an awesome player.
Who?
Oh.
Oli Mata? No, Oli Mata's older than that too.
Defenseman that's kind of good on that team. What?
Yes. Part of the reason I was really Utah jazzed on the Dons this year.
John Marino?
John Marino.
Yeah, okay.
John Marino is 28 years young.
All right.
Also, Kevin Rooney's birthday.
Very
Ryan
cool.
Graves. We got to do more birthdays.
No,
on
we
this
don't.
Show.
We definitely don't.
Finally, a show that gives you celebrity birthdays. Tell the folks what we're talking about today, Pete.
Today on the show, we will be talking about last night's game. The Panthers smoked Canes? Question mark. Because DJ and some other people not necessarily buying the final score line and how indicative it was of that game. So we'll get into it. We'll also talk about bad signs. Not about that game, like not about bad signs figuratively. Literally, there were bad signs in the hockey world yesterday. Couple of them. Very excited to discuss that. And then we have the return of Cody Ceci to the show. Stars defenseman Cody Ceci, one of our favorite players For the chaos factor, just like in terms of personality, in terms of just being a real strong glue guy, he's coming back on the show ahead of Oilers Stars Western Conference Final. Very excited to do that. And then finally, buy or sell. And you might be thinking, those video watchers might be saying, hey, you missed out. You misspelled buy. You said B-Y, not B-U-Y or sell.
And typically when this show spells buy differently, we're doing it the cool way.
B-I. That's right. No, this is Bowen Byram or sell. So there are Bowen Byram trade rumors. We're going to discuss those and
much to the delight of Bowen Byram
is.
What's that?
We're probably going to discuss how good is Bowen Byram?
That's $1 million question. But I think when Bo Byram sees that there are Bo Byram trade rumors, he is psyched. A lot of the players give you the you're just trying to block out the noise, and you never at the end of the day, it's a business or whatever. Bo Byram, since he got to Buffalo, has been like, business me, daddy. Give me the fucking business.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to talk about some Bowen Byram because there are many places the conversation could go, many outcomes that the situation could find itself in. So we'll get to that later in the show.
Okay, let's begin with the Florida Panthers. They win game 1 in Raleigh. 5-2 is the final score. And yeah, there were a lot of moments during it at which you said, well, this game's over. And there was a moment and a half where you thought, this game might not be over. Typically, unless they're playing a certain team, when the Panthers have their foot on the throat, they usually lean in, and that's that. So we all knew, I don't know, probably halfway through that game, what it was going to be. Panthers were going to win. They were going to win quite comfortably, and you get the 5-2 final that is really more 5-1 because the Hurricanes scored late. I think they scored late on the power play too. So it really should have been an ass kicking. But I wonder if it was. That's the type of game that I come away from, in all due respect to the Panthers, where I'm like, I bet everyone is going to go all in on the Panthers winning this series and maybe even winning it quickly. This is the type of game that makes me think, not so fast. Again, all credit where it's due to the Panthers, but this was a little bit, to me, like game 1 of the Cup final last year, where they won comfortably. But did they do my least favorite term in hockey other than snow showered? Did they goalie their opponent a little bit? Because I think they kind of did.
You think the Panthers kind of goalied the Hurricanes?
I think Bob kind of.
Bob was really good for sure, and definitely the better goalie. But that I don't necessarily know if I think they goalied them. They benefited from some nice breaks in the first period. I will say that. Some of them came from their own goalie. Some of them came from bad officiating, the Sebastian Aho penalty that may have been the worst of the postseason, which is saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
Essentially gifted them a power play goal that they converted on, and then Jordan Stahl gifted them a puck in the offensive zone, which they converted on. So they got some breaks, but they took advantage of them. And then, from that point on, I didn't really ever feel like Carolina was super threatening in that game.
So, I go back and forth on if they were threatening. They were just up Bob's ass, and
definitely figuratively and literally, they were all over him in the crease too.
If that's what I'm saying, if both teams continue to play the way that they played last night, the Hurricanes are going to win games. If you give me yes.
I mean, historically speaking, no, they are not.
No, because it's a conference final game, and the Hurricanes have now lost 13 in a row.
And now this is 5 straight games against the Panthers that they've won, quote unquote, or they've lost, quote unquote, close games that maybe they should have won, or let's talk about. That's 5 straight against Florida alone. And famously, Rod Brindamore, last time out after they got swept, said, well, those were 4 close games. It wasn't really a sweep. Yes, it fucking was.
Well, that was a sweep, and I will always make fun of that at every opportunity I can. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying that the Hurricanes should have. I won't even say the Hurricanes should have won because they should have lost. They allowed more goals. That typically gets you a loss. And I am not a heavy user of expected goals for and expected goals against. But if you are, and that is the most common thing I hear brought up, especially in the postseason. Expected goals in that game were 65% in favor of the Hurricanes. The expected goals for 3.17 for the Hurricanes, 1.78 for the Panthers. So again, I'm not saying that the Hurricanes should have won that game. I'm saying that was not the Panthers' best game.
Definitely
And
not.
if you keep doing those games, and if the Hurricanes keep getting as many chances in close on Bob, especially as the series goes on, we know what happens. Hurricanes are going to score some goals, and they're going to win some games. It's a crazy first take to have after that game, but I am a big when I don't have a rooting interest, and I don't in this series, I just care about being fair. And I think that if we're going to be fair, that was not the ass kicking that the final score would indicate. And in reality, it was more a sign that this could be a close series.
I'm not gonna agree with the close series thing because, again, historically we've seen these two teams play pretty good hockey together, and it has resulted in the Panthers winning every fucking time.
Yes.
What I will say is there's definitely positives, or at least nuggets that you could take away from the Hurricane side, where you say this is the path to us being okay here. And somebody in the chat mentioned the Morrow playing last night. I think he was -3, had a horrible penalty. He shouldn't play again in this series, or at least put Nikishin back in. And so that's a step in the right direction. I think the penalty kill playing better is a step in the right direction. I think not giving the puck away if you're Jordan Staal, step in the right direction. And if Bob is 25% worse in some other games of the series, you're going to have a much better chance. And I didn't think that the Canes no-showed. I didn't think they played a horrific game. They were outplayed yesterday, and there were some elements where I was like, okay, the Panthers are having their way with them a little bit, especially in the extracurricular department.
Definitely. I don't know how badly they were outplayed, though. I think they were outplayed, but not by much. I come away with this with that kind of odd feeling that I was talking to Sean before we got really rolling here, and sometimes in game ones, you get a kind of lopsided score, and it gives you that feeling that's I don't know if I'm buying this. I don't know if I'm going all in on this.
My
Sean?
only response to that, though, is just that it's the Florida Panthers. So my look at this is more of a Hurricanes need to win those games.
Yes.
And now that they've lost they're not winning those games, I'm not going to necessarily expect that they are going to quote unquote outplay the Florida Panthers like that again,
or come as close. And that's the thing. I said, if both teams play the way that they did last night, the Hurricanes will win multiple games in this series. That is not me saying both teams are going to play the way they played it last night. I think that the Panthers, after a 5-2 win, are going to come back hard with a much better game than they turned in last night. Chad is having a side conversation. They're all agreeing with each other that the Panthers gave a C game. Their words, not mine. I'll say that was not the Panthers' best game.
Definitely not.
And I'll say we will see the Panthers' best game at some point. So you've got a Panthers win when they didn't have their best game. They will win the game that they have their best game. That's 2 wins right there. How are the Hurricanes getting 4? They need to, as Sean said, when they are kind of in it, they got to consider the fact they're playing against the defending champs, a deeper team than them, and they need to not lose that game 5-2.
Did we not see this in the Cup final last year, where the Oilers outplayed them or whatever in game 1 or 2, and we were probably need to win those games. And if they had,
I think it was game 1, they severely outplayed them, and Bob kind of stole that game.
Yes, game 1 was the one that, and then I forget what happened in game 2. I think game 2,
the Oilers dominated and they still lost. Right? Or
that was game
other way around?
No, that was game 1.
Yeah.
One of the two. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a squandered opportunity does it feel like last night? Because you also have to consider the factor that Carolina was fresh, and the Panthers were coming off a 7-game series and a little bit older, maybe a little bit more banged up, and Carolina's at home in that game.
8 or 9. Very, very high on the squandered opportunity thing. And Hurricanes fans, this is, I guess, the respect. Like, you did not get smoked in that game, and you came away with what should have been a 4-goal loss. Need better results. Someone said, what was the deserve to win a meter? You're going to love this, folks. Sean, throw it up. Deserve to win a meter, 70.5% in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. In 1,000 simulations, 70.5% of them had the Carolina Hurricanes winning that game last night. So maybe you want to bump, and we joke about the deserve to win a meter. I disagree with it in this case, but I do disagree with it suggesting that it was closer than 5-2.
I think the deserve to win a meter is, I usually hate it. I hate it especially when it's tied to a Carolina Hurricanes game, because that is the ultimate deserve to win a meter team. Are they not?
Yeah, let me find, I think I retweeted it. Our guy, Pano, who does the deserve to win a meter standings, had a great, there it is, a great bit yesterday. Pano _KOU on Twitter.
It's Ambassador to Greece, correct?
Yes, correct.
What's that?
It's Ambassador to Greece in the chat.
Oh, yeah. 3 of the 4 conference finalists were the top 3 teams in the deserve to win a meter standings that were kept by Ambassador to Greece.
And that was during the regular season.
During the regular season, number 1, do you know who would have finished
Carolina
first in the
Hurricanes.
league if we went by deserve to win a meter?
Carolina Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes. Number 2, Florida Panthers. Number 3, Edmonton Oilers. And Stars not too far down there. Number 10.
Who was 4, though?
4.
Who fucked up?
Oh, of course.
Oh, no.
Who fucked up this season?
The Buffalo Sabres?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, like...
exactly is not as expected for me. Oh, they're going to make the playoffs. But who's my number 1 fuck-up team of the year?
That could be anybody.
The Nashville Predators?
They embarrassed me. They made me look bad. They ruined my reputation.
The Colorado Avalanche?
They cost me my family. The Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
They cost me. I don't want to talk about it. They cost me my family.
Kids aren't talking to them anymore.
I don't have a family anymore. I used to have a family, and the Colorado. Who's number 5? Speaking of teams that fuck things up,
The Nashville Predators.
It's the Boston Bruins.
Winnipeg Jets.
Okay.
So deserve to win a meter, ridiculous, but that is the type of game that, and I think I was saying it as I was looking for it. I was like, oh, this is the type of game that I bet the Hurricanes were like off the charts on deserve to win a meter.
It's the type
I
of
thought
game,
it would be
it's the
like
type of game why people hate the deserve to win a meter.
I thought it would be like 55%, but it was 70%. I did find something kind of useful though to at least back up my eye test point, which Sean on Money Puck, they had just like the scoring chances or the shots or whatever. Hurricane scoring chances is just like a sea of people on top of Bob. And that's why I thought they would score more goals than they did. And that's why I tip my cap to, I'd say the Panthers, but mainly to Bob.
I mean, eye test definitely validated that. Like you said, they were in Bob's ass all night long. And I think that's something they should definitely keep up. If you can rattle him physically, that's something that you should definitely try to do. I maybe would find a better way to do it than what Svechnikov did last night, which was throw a little cheap shot to Bob's head. And I know what people are going to say. You reap what you sow.
And Ekblad was up to his old tricks too.
Yeah, but he's specifically with the Panthers after the Bennett on Stolarz thing from last round. It's going to be a lot of reap what you sow kind of deal. But, I mean, path forward for Carolina, stay in that kitchen.
What do we think of Shane Gostisbehere shooting the puck at Brad Marchand, then Brad Marchand losing his fucking mind? I will say this controversially, and this will be used to ruin me in the future. I'll lose my family over it. I support whatever Brad Marchand does. He wants to lose his cool there. If he wants to end up in the box and giving the Hurricanes, I think it was a 2 or 3 goal game at that point.
Something like that.
The opportunity to crawl back in it. I'm like, you know what? They're going to kill it for our guy.
I mean, the Gostisbehere thing I did not like.
From Gostisbehere or Marchand?
From Gostisbehere.
I agree.
Did not like it.
Bitch shit.
100%. And I think, and I feel like you don't often see Marchand get really like upset or triggered.
Jeff Skinner, Mitch Marner are 2 that come to mind, and it's a pretty short list.
And
of like when he loses his shit, and you're like, yo, somebody like tie him down.
And it's usually when somebody goes against like the code. he's very gamesmanshipy, but if somebody goes against the code and does something disrespectful beyond, like he even gave credit to Sam Bennett when Sam Bennett elbowed him in the chin, was like, hey, that's gamesmanship. We're all trying to kill each other this time of year.
He was playing
when
long
it's
game.
stuff like that, I think that's what really, really bothers him, and I get it.
Chat is doing way too many numbers and analytics, asking how many families I have.
Several.
I have. How many expected families do I have versus real families?
Families above expected.
I would guess like my expected families, I probably give off like a 0 expected families. Like was raised by wolves. With like
I don't know about that. I don't know if you give off
I spent a lot of time with like Pumbaa and Timon. That was my education.
I would
Pumbaa and Timon more than wolves.
no, I would more say
more like singing.
Like you don't necessarily strike me as like you grew up in the wilderness.
Definitely not. Allergies are too bad. But I would have learned a thing.
I would say like net expected families 0. Just like had a family, they gave you up.
Oh yeah, like I was let go, and then I had a family, and they left me. I don't abandon families though.
Yeah, but they abandon you.
Yes, so they can say that they abandoned their
boy.
boy. The big takeaway from this game:
Deserve to have a family meter.
Chad is new to how many families DJ has. I know people are saying like, aren't you going to talk about the good things that the Panthers did? Maybe. Let's talk about the signs that were at this game, because there was the worst sign I've ever seen in my life, and this has me rooting for the Panthers to win this series. A Hurricanes fan holding a sign that says, a rat, comma, capital I, in a suit, in a cat suit, capital I is still, comma, a new alignment, rat, period. It is the worst sign that's ever been made.
The new alignment shot was so unnecessary.
No, it is though.
It is.
But that part is just like this poor woman doing arts and crafts. That part's excusable.
No. You want to say this is arts and crafts? This was my point. There's no flashes or frills on the sign.
Okay.
It is literally
crafts, no art.
It is literally just crafts and just text and like black Arial bold font.
That, you know what? That was all printed with the printers that look like those like laminating machines, you know, that are just like the long tubes. It's the old style printer, and it had the paper had the punches on the side that you could rip off. You know what I'm talking about? Are you guys too young for this?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It was printed on that printer. That's how they printed all the letters. But I can, for whatever reason, I can overlook the confusing capitalization of the word is.
That to me just strikes me as they open up a Word doc, wrote the first line,
and it automatically
enter,
capitalized.
Yeah.
Nothing added those commas for them. Throw it up again. It reads like this, because somebody responded to me. They were like, "Oh, I gotta get what they were trying to say." You do, and sometimes people put commas in there for where they would take a breath, which can be done, but not when you're trying to be a human.
Let's read it like that.
Like they tried. Okay,
Yeah.
A rat in a cat suit is still a rat. How about this?
I mean, honestly, that sounded better than what it looks like. This is an abomination to my eyes.
I could almost excuse the second comma, because if you were like, a rat in a cat suit is still a rat. But the first one, I mean, they're both wrong, but the first one simply makes no sense to me.
I agree. I would understand what they were trying to do,
Yes.
but I had this thing yesterday. Somebody said on accident, and I was
People
like,
always say that.
I was like, people always say that. I've never said it in my life. I was educated better than that, and I was wondering. I was like, where does that? Is that like a regional thing? And I Googled it. Do you know why people say on accident?
No.
And I let them off the hook for this because they think it's the opposite of on
Purpose.
on purpose.
Oh, okay.
So there, like, if there's an explanation for something, I'm not going to be all fucking like,
That
I didn't
does
get
make
good
sense.
grades, so who am I? That I can understand. I cannot understand what somebody is doing when they put that first comma there. And commas, like apostrophes, I caution people, if you're not sure how to use it, don't use it.
Yeah,
Nobody will be mad at you for leaving something out. And if anything, they can argue that you made a stylistic choice.
Right.
You are being crazy if you use one of those things wrong, though.
I definitely think it's better to underutilize punctuation, especially in that setting with a sign. Like, I feel like you're more of an asshole to critique somebody for not having a comma in a sports sign than by being like, I can't even read this because it's insane because you're just throwing commas everywhere.
I just like print out a picture of a rat or something. I need even if you're gonna fuck up a little more effort. And also, why is it vertical? Whoever makes a sign like that? No one makes signs like that.
This is such a confusing choice.
True.
The problem is that like this woman probably rocks. She doesn't deserve any of this, but you can't be doing this. This is so bad.
You know what it tells me? I guarantee you I want to have this Hurricanes fan on the show because this person knows more puck than the three of us combined. All of their brain power is spent on puck.
I don't even
know. They
if
cannot
that's
carry
true.
out a simple task.
I think it's been on Carolina Hurricanes. Not puck, Carolina Hurricanes.
Well, but they're talking about Brad Marchand's history with the Bruins.
True.
So that is league-wide puck knowledge. But maybe it's one of those things where, like, don't they say if you're trying to smell something, close your eyes, and like lowering one sense heightens the rest of them?
Yeah.
Shout out Daredevil.
Not knowing how to do anything probably makes them incredible at puck watching.
Maybe.
I want to catch a game with this person.
Katie's
Although I
making
would
a good
ask them too many
point.
questions.
To be what?
No, it's like we're talking about it.
I mean, yeah,
We're talking about the Canes.
That's what she's going for. She wants clicks and
she
likes.
wants attention. She's like, people don't fucking respect the
It's
Canes.
fucking clickbait. Thanks a lot, lady.
we
Your
got
stupid-ass
fucking
clickbait
tricked.
sign got us. People use clickbait for just shit that they don't like anymore. So that was clickbait. To be fair to that woman, she's not the only person in the hockey world that had a very bad sign with bad punctuation. And the other one came from literally an NHL team.
People who should know better.
They should know better. And maybe they did know better because the Toronto Maple Leafs put up this sign on their wall that says, no grit, period. No grind, period. No greatness, period. I would assume that they were looking for commas there to say no grit, comma, no grind, comma, no greatness, period. To say if you don't have grit, you don't have grind, you're not going to find greatness. Instead, they summed up their season accidentally by saying no grit, no grind, no greatness.
Yeah, and much more of a statement of fact than I said yesterday. I don't even know if this is a real word, but like they were definitely going for more of an imploration. Like they were trying to implore you. This is just more of a, I don't know if you know this. No grit, no grind, no greatness. That's us.
They wanted to turn the wheels in your head. Instead, they took the wheels off of you and just cemented you down.
Set you down
saying, like,
right in the middle of the fact.
You are bad. You will never be great.
I mean, they may have just manifested. The power of manifestation is real.
Did we note for the audio listeners, by the way, that's, of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Just classic. Unbelievable. So some bad signs, but you know what? I say if you have a good sign, bring it to a game. Be respectful about it.
Oh.
Don't go portrait mode.
I was a huge sign kid.
Really?
I went crazy with signs at like Bills games, like fucking pictures of buffaloes, like hand-drawn pictures of buffaloes, like killing lions for a lion game or frying up dolphins. I loved a good sign.
I don't have anything against signs or being a sign person, but if you're going to do it, go all the way in. No halfway measures. Like the only thing that bothers me is when somebody has a shitty sign.
Signs to me are like baseball gloves. Kids should probably be the only ones bringing them to games, but ultimately you're just having fun.
If you got something to say and it's funny or it's good and you want to bring a sign to send that message, by all means, go for it. Like look at game day, like college game day.
True.
Those signs, like it's a little bit of a different sort of
it's
thing,
more of like the purpose.
But some of the college game day signs are incredible, and that just adds an entire element to that program.
I think at Sean DePaz for beer money.
But I'm also a noted non-recliner on planes. I don't want to inconvenience people. Like if people are having a bad time here, they came to a thing where they knew I would be. So it's kind of their fault. So if it's a bad time because of me, that was your choice. If you're on a plane and I give you a bad time, I'm being an asshole. So I won't recline. Signs, I think, sort of the same thing. We can do signs, but you got to be in the last row of the loge. How about? Because that guarantees that you're not getting in anybody's way and you're not blocking anybody.
Or just
Well,
during
yeah.
breaks.
I was gonna say there.
Even
I don't think
so that like
there is no circumstance in which you should be holding up a sign during play.
Unless it's a sign that says no signs during play from an usher.
Yes, but during in between the whistles, I think it could be anywhere goes.
okay.
Get on the jumbotron.
Well,
No grit in a catsuit is still no greatness.
that's right. Is still all capital N, no greatness. Well, you can't have a sign at a game if you're not at a game. That's where Vivid Seats comes in. The best place to get your tickets for any live event. They have the best selection of games and seats, and every purchase is backed by their 100% buyer guarantee. Plus, Vivid Seats is the only ticket marketplace that rewards you for every purchase. So download the Vivid Seats app and start earning rewards towards free tickets. New Vivid Seats users who use promo code CHAOS30 will receive $30 off their first purchase of $300 or more. Once again, click the link in the show notes, go to vividseats.com or download the Vivid Seats app and use promo code CHAOS30 for $30 off your first purchase of $300 or more. When it comes to playoff hockey, being there is all that matters, so experience it live with Vivid Seats.
And if your sign stinks, put some Mando on it, because Mando is the men's deodorant brand that is hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. And I guess your sign could smell fresh and clean, too, if you put some Mando on it. Their scents are geared towards men with options like Bourbon Leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fiji, and Pro Sport. So there's plenty to choose from. And there's plenty to choose from in terms of where you put it on your body, because this is an all-over men's deodorant brand.
You know, could have used Mando.
Who?
Bob. He had guys all in his ass, as you put it.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been nice if
Maybe
it
he
smelled
did
good,
use Mando. That's why they wanted to be all
That's
in
why
his
they're
ass.
getting it. They're just
Very good.
sniffing it out.
He grundled. He mandoed his grundle before last night's game, and the Carolina Hurricanes took notice. They were all up in there. You can put it in your pits, your belly button, your balls, your butt crack, your grundle, all over. And you got a plenty of options to choose from and how you want to do it, too, because you got the stick, you've got the body wash, you've got whole body deodorant. That you just squeeze out of a tube.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Spray. Want to try this? Let's see what this smells like. You ready?
Spray around in here.
Did it reach you? Did it reach? What's the longevity or the distance on the spray?
I mean, it actually hit me in the face.
Okay, good. How's
Well,
it smell?
good thing it's Mando, because it can go literally anywhere.
See what I'm doing, by the way? You notice how I smelled?
You close your eyes.
What scent is that?
Oh, damn, that does smell.
But if
that
you
smells
close
very
your
good.
eyes,
What scent is it?
It is. This is bourbon leather.
Oh,
It
nice.
smells
That smells really
very good. Yeah. So,
But if you close your eyes,
and we've also got the wipes here. So, plenty of ways to control your scent. And it's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO is being misdiagnosed and mistreated. So go to Mando, get the starter pack. It's perfect for new customers. Comes with solid stick, cream tube, 2 free products of your choice, including mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and you're going to get free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code, which is WhatChaos. So that's 40% off your starter pack. Use WhatChaos at shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Brief complaint. You know what's a fucking scam? Travel deodorant.
oh yeah,
Regular deodorant
Every
is 3
deodorant
ounces.
is travel deodorant.
yeah, you can
You
bring
could just
that.
take it.
Yeah.
Don't waste money on travel deodorant. Just buy.
I guess if you're trying to save space.
I guess the deodorant's not that big, but still.
Okay, we're about to get to Cody Ceci. If you've been enjoying the show so far, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Also press like. Do whatever you can do to make this experience a little better for yourself and all of us. So make sure that you are in there, subscribing, liking, following us everywhere. Here's the thing. Players typically are not doing podcasts during the playoffs. They are locked in. They are very serious. And we even saw with Cody, he was a little more locked in than usual. But unbelievable that as he is about to play his former team A lot of storylines swirling around Cody Ceci. He gave us a few minutes. What an absolute legend. We hit on Oilers stuff. We hit on Wallman stuff because that was his guy in San Jose. Holiday inflatables. He is the greatest. Here is our conversation with the great, fantastic, beautiful Cody Ceci. Let's bring in probably our favorite player in the league, Cody Ceci, as he gets ready to play his former team, who he went to the Cup final with last year, who now has his former D partner from this year. It's a crazy reunion. It's a crazy Western Conference final. Hello, Cody Ceci.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Amazing. What obviously you're focused on just being in the conference final, but you were on the other side of this last year. So what have these past few days been like?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, we've kind of been on a collision course with Edmonton throughout these playoffs, and then now that it's happening for real, it'll be weird for sure. But I'm sure both sides will put the friendship aside for a couple of days and stay pretty focused on the goal here.
When you got traded to Dallas this year, how much did you think about this possibility? You mentioned the collision course. How much was this in your head that like this could happen?
Yeah, it was definitely in the back of my mind. Now that it's happening for real, it's a little different, but yeah, it was definitely something I'd thought about, and now here we are.
It's wild that it ends up being you on Dallas against Wallman on. I mean, even just playing against like Nurse is crazy, but the Wallman of it is wild to me because you two were a top pairing in San Jose, and now a very short time later, you're both on other sides of this. What did that time, and I know that it wasn't very long, but like, what did that time in San Jose being a top pairing guy do for you?
Um, yeah, I mean, we both played big minutes in San Jose, and kind of fed off each other and tried to support each other as much as we could on a group that was growing. So having him there and being able to support each other as much as we could just helped us out throughout the first half of the season and what was a tougher year. So yeah, it helped a lot to have him there. He's a great defenseman, and we got along off the ice too.
This is the first time we've been able to talk to you since Holiday Inflatables. What was it like shooting that music video and making that song? Just an absolute classic track. We got like 8 weeks of content out of it. It's like early March. We're still talking about Holiday Inflatables. I know I know you weren't on that team long, but like that group seems so fun. Like you guys just lost and had a blast.
Yeah, I mean, the group was amazing. We were a young team. Everyone was very positive, so that part was fun. I mean, losing games is never fun, but if you can do it with a group like that, I mean, we still made the most of it. And then the holiday inflatable video, we got kind of roped into. I didn't even know what I was signing up for. They're like, "Do you want to be part of the Christmas video?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then they sent the link to the one we were replicating. And I was like, "Oh no, what did I do?"
I do have to ask. I hated the trade when you went to Dallas because I was worried about Hugo and the Heat. How is Hugo done in the Texas Heat?
He's been good. He's loving it, but you just can't walk him too long because he comes home exhausted.
That's so there's nothing worse than seeing a Frenchie in heat because it's just there's nothing they can do. And they already start off kind of helpless because they just have those adorable faces that don't work. And once you get him in heat, do you give him one of those they have these like vests that you put on them that you just kind of wet down and that gives them a little bit of life? Do you have to use those?
We don't have one, but we probably should get one for Hugo. Our other one doesn't even go on walks. It's just too hot for him, and he can't breathe very well, so he just stays inside.
Damn, you could do a stroller. That would be adorable too. I know, like you've played against former teams before, and that happens. But we were just in Edmonton like a month ago, and we were doing a watch party, and like half the people are coming up to us, being like, "Hey, thank you for having Cody Ceci on your show. He was our favorite player," and like you're just so beloved there, and you do have such strong relationships with the guys on that team. So like is it extra weird? And like, what was it like when you saw those guys in March?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're all still close friends off the ice. We still talk. We talk quite a bit, and then yeah, I mean, I was only there for 3 years, but it felt longer. We went on some deep runs, and those runs bring you closer to your teammates, to your fans, and the city. So yeah, it felt like longer than 3 years, and it was a lot of fun when I was there, and really appreciated my time there, and made some long lasting friendships.
They've been doing Pink Pony Club after the games, like blasting Chapel Roan, which I think is adorable because that song's been out forever. But like it seems they just found it and they're having a real blast with it. When you see stuff like that, are you like, God damn, I'd be perfect for that? Or like, I imagine that there's got to be some Stars equivalent that you guys have. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really been blasting a song in the arena that I've noticed. But we've been playing Post Malone after our games in the room, and uh, yeah, I mean, every team's got their own win song.
What's been like your experience in Dallas so far, just in terms of the whirlwind of it all? Because like things have changed even since you've been there. I mean, the Rantanen trade was a big shock, and then down the stretch, like there's a lot of losing from that group, and there were a lot of doubters heading into the playoffs as to how long you guys would last, and it seems like you've only gotten stronger as this playoff run's gone on. So like, what's been kind of your experience with it all?
Yeah, I mean, bringing in Rantanen was a big deal, and sometimes I can send little shockwaves through your team, and I think we experienced that a little bit going down the stretch. But he's settled in nicely now for us in playoffs, and he's shown why he's a superstar in this league. And then having Miro come back now just adds that much more depth to our team. We missed him going down the stretch. I think that was part of the reason they brought me in, is to help out with those minutes while Miro was down. But just being able to add a piece like that in the playoffs helps a lot.
I talked about how much you were playing in San Jose. Like, how do you feel about your game overall this season? Because you talked about the lack of depth there. Late in the season, we were like, could you imagine if they did not trade for Cody Ceci? Like that ends up like this guy is now so valuable to them. So how do you feel about how you've been playing, even though, as Pete noted before we got on here, you didn't score in Game 7 against the Avalanche? We don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed playing here so far. I mean, it's a good veteran group, well coached. Everything's pretty black and white as far as our systems go, which is nice to play in and come into. And then getting partnered up with a guy like Lindell is also very helpful. I mean, he's such a smart player and very efficient out there, and he's got me up to speed pretty quickly.
Rantanen's going and Hintz is going, and like the depth hasn't totally shown through yet for your group. Like, obviously you're in the Western Conference Final for a reason, and the team has looked really good throughout the playoffs. When we say that team has another gear to get to, do you agree with that, or do you think like, hey, we're humming right now?
Um, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of depth, and it takes everybody in playoffs. I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but it's true. I mean, it could be a different guy scoring the big goal every single night, and everyone just has to show up and bring something to the table. It's not always scoring, and it's not always recognized, but it does take the whole group to buy in. If it's something defensive that maybe an offensive guy is doing, it's not really recognized by the public, but in our room, it's recognized. So we're just trying to focus on winning games, and it's not about who's scoring what goals.
I mean, you have, like we mentioned, you've been on the other side here of this matchup. Do you feel like you bring anything to like the Stars in terms of like being able to prepare for the Oilers in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I try and help out with our coaching staff as far as the game plan goes. From being on the other side, you try and just remember what the game plan was for them. And I mean, it's a different team, and they've come a long way from last year too, and they've changed some things up. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly, but you try and help out the staff in creating a game plan.
Who would you rather play against if Leon and Connor are split up? Or would you just like be like, guys, put them together, I'll play against them, and everybody else just try to do your best?
Yeah, I mean, you got to pick your poison with those two. They're both unbelievable players, and they can hurt you in many ways. So you just got to try and contain them the best you can, not let them go off.
Last thing I'll ask is obviously you've had so much going on in this past year, but you're also a free agent at the end of the year. This you're back in the Western Conference Final. Like you're just so used to playing in huge games. What do you want at the end of this? Like, do you want? Have you gotten such a taste of winning and getting close to winning the cup that you're like, this summer I'm going to care about trying to get to a cup? Or I learned in San Jose that like I can be this for a team or whatever. Like, do you have any sort of idea as to what you want when you're looking for your next team, if there is a next one?
Yeah, I mean, they've both been completely different experiences for me. Starting the year in San Jose, just having a young, fun group that's learning a lot about playing in the NHL and learning a lot about how to win in this league, and then ending up back on a team that is close to close to winning and has been close to winning the last few years is great. I mean, landing here was a privilege for me to get to play in the playoffs again and be on a team that has a real shot at this. So uh, it's hard to say what'll happen with me at the end of this year. I mean, obviously you want to end up on a team that is going for it every single year, but sometimes that's just not what happens with the business side of things, and you have to be open to other opportunities and whatever that may be. If it is a team like San Jose where you're building and you still just got to enjoy it and bring your experience to that young group. Or if you're on a team that's going for it again, then you got to gear up and get ready and get in the playoffs, and then from there, just try and make your way through the series.
It's Mr. Game 7. Did you when you went into Game 7 against the Avalanche and everyone's doing the Pete DeBoer stat? Everyone loves the Pete DeBoer stat of how he does in Game 7. Was there any part of you that was like waiting for them to complete the sentence and say like, and they have Cody Ceci? Or like, do your teammates know that?
That was great. They were focusing more on him, so I didn't have any pressure to score a big goal or anything. It was great.
What do you
Classic
think?
Cody Ceci.
What do you think? Which return is bigger for Dallas? Is it Miro Heiskanen or is it the glass banger who's like fresh out of jail?
I saw something today that he was going to be at the next game, so I'm excited to see that. I've never really paid attention to him in the past, so I'm excited to see him.
Just letting criminals into the place. It's real. No, I don't know. Like they're playing Pantera before the games and everything. There's kind of like a rough around the edges mentality that Dallas likes to take on. So I suppose it all fits. Cody, you're the best. We love you. Obviously, you've got so much going on. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
What is going? Oh,
yeah.
Hello, we're back.
Cody Ceci, stud. Oilers begin Western Conference Final against the Stars tonight. He's a legend. What a season he's had. Just established himself as the number one defenseman in the NHL, and now he's on a loaded blue line that has not only Miro Heiskanen, not only Cody Ceci,
And like,
but Ilya Lyubushkin.
I mean, like, people have made a lot of jokes about Cody Ceci over the years, and at his expense, he's legitimately had a good season.
I think he's had a good season, yes. And I'm biased, and I would have said he was having a good season either way. But like he entered the Western Conference Final last year with people saying, "Man, the Oilers are asking too much of Cody Ceci. They have to. He's doing too heavy of lifting." And I think the Stars at points in this postseason, you've said, as I said with him, like, thank God they got Cody Ceci. Mm-hmm. Shout out the legend.
And I mean, the thing is like if the Stars beat the Oilers, Cody Ceci's probably going to have a good series, and that's going to be a very cool story.
Big money coming his way from the Boston Bruins or Buffalo Sabres. Sean, do you got anything from Morning Skate?
Via Tony Brar. Victor Arvidsson is skating in place of Connor Brown at Morning Skate with Henrique and Kane. Brown had a maintenance day in his first practice following the second round. Knobloch said he would not miss time versus Dallas. We'll see if we can get an update post-skate. #Oilers.
I don't like saying a player will not miss time in an upcoming round.
Yeah,
know it's
if
gonna
you
happen.
had
Setting
just
him up
said
for disappointment.
Yeah.
if you had just said maintenance day, I would have assumed he wasn't missing time.
Yeah.
But then you say he's not going to miss time, and now I think there's something wrong with him.
Can the Oilers win without Connor Brown, who
No.
would statistically be the third best forward on the Stars this
Absolutely
postseason?
cannot
Yeah.
need him. Best Connor in the series.
Most important, Connor.
Yes. Okay. We got trade rumors for Bo Byram. Can you believe it? First time
Yes.
for everything. Yes. He's already been traded before. Of course, he was traded straight up for Casey Middlestat a couple years ago at the deadline. A very intriguing swap that really didn't work out for either team. He is going to be an RFA. He's 24 years old. He's a highly drafted, well-regarded, good pedigree left shot defenseman. Wants to be a number one guy. Is a number like 2 or 3 guy in Buffalo. Not good enough for him. Sean, you're going like that?
I mean, he was riding on the top pair, but yeah, I mean,
But like that's not
wasn't-
like the number 2 guy.
yeah,
like
he
Powers
wasn't doing like he wasn't on the power play. So
Okay. Well, he wants a bigger role, and it has seemed that he's wanted out of Buffalo. And a lot of the talk there has been that it's because he wants a bigger role. From Elliot Friedman, quote, "There's no doubt his name is out there. There's no doubt they're gauging market value on him. We'll see where this takes us, but there's definitely noise around the Byram name and the Buffalo Sabres." I was pouring through some upcoming RFAs and guys who are UFAs at the end of next year, or even guys who are RFAs at the end of next year, to find like what is the trade market going to be this offseason. And it's been tough because we said yesterday there aren't going to be a lot of teams that have to get rid of a guy who's due a new contract because
Cap's going up.
the cap is going up. Bo Byram seems like the young, good player that could be moved. But I feel like your question is he that good a player?
No, that's not my question. It's my question is more like, should the Sabres move him?
Okay.
Because like I'll give you some stats here, and I found some of these surprising. Byram, 23-year-old season last year, 7-31-38 in 82 games, which is like not incredible, but his 35 even strength points ranked 15th amongst NHL defensemen last year. He also spent a majority of last season playing opposite Rasmus Dahlin on his offhand on the right side. But their plus 20 goal differential last season was the best of any defensive pairing, tied only with Cale Makar and Devon Taves. Like, you had the best defensive pairing by goal differential with Dahlin and Byram. So my question is, like, can you find a way forward keeping him, both financially and in a role that keeps him happy? Because it seems like when he says he wants a bigger role, I would assume that that means he wants power play time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally fair, especially as a guy who is, his next contract will probably take him to unrestricted free agency.
Yep.
And if he gets that power play time and the production that comes with it, he's going to make a whole lot more money.
Yeah, he's 24 years old, so if his next deal is for 3 years, then that gets him to unrestricted free agency. The Sabres obviously are paying 2 defensemen huge money already in Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Power. So I understand where he's like, could I really be the guy there if they're giving such big money to 2 other players at the same position? The wheels that it gets turning in my brain is, did we overlook Bo Byram when we were talking about offer sheets last week? Because his projected 1-year deal would be, per AFP Analytics, something in the $5 million range. And if it's a longer deal, then they have him at 5 years times $7.17 million. What if a team comes in and says, we'll give you 2 years times $8 million? Are the Buffalo Sabres matching that? And if you're a team that wants Bo Byram, are you willing to go there when you'd be sacrificing a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick? Because if you believe in Bo Byram, I don't think a first, a second, and a third is a ton to give up for somebody that you think could be your top defenseman of the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. And like we've talked about a team like the Bruins maybe pursuing an Evan Bouchard offer sheet or something like that. Just as somebody who needs a little bit more offense. He clearly wants to have more of an offensive impact on the blue line. And like, I think that he can do it. I think that there's reason to believe in him, but he would obviously cost a lot less both on a contract and on offer sheet compensation versus an Evan Bouchard. Obviously not the exact same player. Bouchard's offensive ability is way higher. But
Bouchard's
still,
also not getting offer sheeted just because you would have to give up 4 first-round picks to do a contract that is like just what he's going to cost anyway.
Right.
And also a thing on Bouchard that I think we forgot to note, which is if Bouchard isn't signed 5 days into free agency, into restricted free agency, he can elect arbitration. And Evan Bouchard in arbitration would make an absolute killing because he has like the best offensive numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes to arbitration, he's going to get more money than he would get anywhere else, even on a crazy offer sheet. So it behooves Evan Bouchard to just kind of sit around for a few days and then just smoke the Oilers in arbitration. But
here's where I go with the Byram conversation. Does it make more sense for the Sabres to consider trading Power instead of Byram?
I don't think so. I mean I like Power more than I like Byram, and Power is making in 3 years. Bo Byram's making, unless he signs a long-term deal right now, at some point during Power's contract, Byram's going to be making a lot more than $8.25 million a year, which Power right now is signed up for what, 6 more years?
Through 2031. So yeah, but
with the cap going up, that's not a horrible number.
Oh, I mean,
I understand that
has big albatross potential. Like if he comes anywhere close to his potential over the next year or two, yeah, it's going to probably be a really good deal. And I really like the deal when it was signed. But based off of what you've seen from Owen Power recently, like there's some Evan Bouchard in there, there's some Mitch Marner in there.
I think that the only reason you do that if you're the Sabres is if you think we got to get rid of this guy. Like this guy is not necessarily
which one?
Power. Not necessarily that it's an albatross of a contract, but that we've got a lot of young players who want to take the next step and not all of them are doing it. If you think that Power is at risk of not doing that, then you move off him because you just can't have too many guys like that. Like they already got rid of Middlestat. They already got rid of
Cousins.
Of Cousins. Like you've already made those moves. If there's more to make and you think that Power is one of them, sure. But if all things are equal and you think that Power is better long term than Byram, cool. Doesn't matter who you're getting more for in a trade. Trade the worst player, keep the better one. Simple as that.
I like Bo Byram more than Owen Power currently. I just think that Owen Power has such a high ceiling potential if he can figure out how to use his body a little bit better. I think Owen Power is like such a good offensive, is clearly a very, very good offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable paying a guy that doesn't seem like he really wants to be in Buffalo to stay in Buffalo.
Here's a crazy one.
Talking about Byram?
Yeah.
I mean, Byram has said that he would be happy to stay in Buffalo. Like he is not saying, and
exactly.
I know you can take that at face value.
Not about the city.
You can take that at face value, but I think that if the Sabres showed Byram that they had a plan to increase his role, increase his usage, and make him the clear number 2 behind Rasmus Dahlin, I think there's a path forward there. I do think that it would probably involve getting rid of Owen Power. In terms of getting that money away and freeing up that spot.
It just makes me so uncomfortable. Moving off Owen Power this early. And I know there's a lot of Sabres fans that don't like him. They think he's soft, but I just think he's such a gifted offensive player that it would make me very uncomfortable to see them move off of him.
Here is a pie in the sky one, okay? Quinn Hughes.
Go, please
expand.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
Profit. Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers.
Oh,
what about just being closer to your brothers? What about being in Buffalo?
Okay,
I don't think being closer to the brothers is a solution.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think he wants to play with his brothers.
Yeah, especially if closer to Buffalo or closer to his brothers means being in Buffalo.
But Byram and how old is Quinn Hughes? Quinn Hughes isn't
25.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes isn't 27.
No,
none of these guys have rights. You could trade it, and they don't.
25.
I know, but
Owen
it's just
Power
funny.
is 22.
Out of context, remove the sports brain element. None of these guys have rights.
They don't. They're not even people. They're not. They're until you have UFA rights.
Not a person.
We can't take it seriously. What if you did some sort of massive, super, almost Kane's Rantanen-esque of like, let's get him here and let's hope for the best. Let's see what happens. Am I getting your hopes up?
No, I don't think that's even close to realistic. It require the Sabres to have a competent GM, which they have not proved to have over the last handful of years. No, I don't know what the solution here is.
The idea of sending Quinn Hughes, who is the most front-facing sad guy in the NHL, to Buffalo, the most front-facing sad organization in the NHL.
Maybe that makes him comfortable.
Misery does love company. And there would be no better match than Quinn Hughes with the Buffalo
I'm definitely
Sabres.
not saying it's happening, but I'm thinking outside the box.
I appreciate that.
And I got a few more of these. Hashtag Eichel to Boston. Not ruling that out.
I do want to push back. I pushed back on it before the show. I want to push back on it again with how you started this conversation. I don't think, regardless of what happens with Bo Byram, whether they sign him or trade him, I don't think that is a reflection on the Middlestat trade. Like, I don't think the Sabres failed there. They got off a player who is not that good for a player who has, I think, significantly more value right now.
It would hinge on, if they do trade Byram, what they get for Byram.
Yeah,
because
but I don't
get
think
a one-for-one hockey trade, and both those players last like one-ish season with their team.
But even if you traded Bo Byram for a second overall pick, like if you're telling me, or second round pick, like if you told me that they essentially traded Casey Middlestat for a second round pick, I'm like, good job, Kevin Adams.
Honestly, yeah.
I know it hurts a lot more when you had Bo Byram in that process, but like I don't think there's a situation in which this turns into them having lost that trade, because
I would disagree with that, because I think that like right now Bo and Byram is worth way more than a second round pick.
I agree, but my point is I don't see a situation in which they lose the Middlestat trade, because I think there's no way that they get something back for Bo Byram that is worth less than Casey Middlestat. Like, again, it's going to hurt having had a player as good as Bo Byram throughout that process, but I think it'll ultimately have ended up well for them.
What about the Sharks for Byram? They've put themselves in a tough spot because they've traded so many of their good pieces. And you've heard my complaint in a kind of everyone but these 2, 3, 4 guys must go kind of thing. So they do just have a ton of picks, and it's not like they're going to trade Askarov for Byram. But if they could make it happen, and I think that at this point, Eklund's probably too much to give. Maybe not. What if there's some sort of Eklund, Byram, fill it in picks-wise on either side? Is that a sensible thing? Or are the Sabres like, no, we're not going to keep getting younger? Because Eklund, I think, is like 21, 22.
That's what I would look at it, like the angle I would look at it.
They shouldn't want picks, and they shouldn't want a 21-year-old, and apologies if he's older than that. Let me see.
Eklund's got to be low 20s.
But that's been the consistent messaging, I feel like, from the Sabres, is that if they're trading for players, they're trading for a
William
top
Eklund,
4D player and a top 6 forward. Like
William Eklund turns, 23 in October.
I just don't. If I'm the Sharks, I don't know if I would do that trade from their perspective either.
I might like a good young wing for potentially.
But like Eklund's been really good for them, and like he could really pop once they start kind of hitting their groove.
So you know what that means? Is he an RFA? I think he's coming up on RFA at the end of next year. They're trading him at the deadline.
That's probably true.
What the fucking Sharks will do. And I'll say, guys, this is worse than tanking. And people will say, oh, you don't understand how team building works. You don't have to trade your like good young players Idiots.
Honestly, the first team that came to my mind was the Calgary Flames for Bowen Byram, because if they're looking for a Rasmus Anderson replacement, he would make some sense. And like for a team that was, I believe, the worst or second worst offensive team in the league this season, could use that little output from the back end. He's going to have plenty of opportunity to contribute, get his numbers up. If they're ending up building around him as a main defensive piece, that could make a lot of sense, and I think he would kind of fit their timeline-ish.
What about the Ducks?
Ducks have a lot of young defensemen,
And they don't.
That's why they
don't
traded for
need
Gauthier.
Bowen Byram.
right? That's why they traded for Cutter Gauthier. They were like, we are overflowing with these guys. Here's Jamie Drysdale.
And like he might have the exact same problem in Anaheim that he has or sees that he has.
Oh
in
yeah,
Buffalo.
he would hate it there. Yes,
Like
exactly.
Jackson Lacombe, Minchikov, like he would be in the same position of frustration, I think.
But I mean,
Perfect place for him is San Jose. He's older than, it depends on who ends up going first, but if they take, what's my guy's name? Defenseman who's going to go
Schaefer?
first or second? Yeah. If they get Schaefer, he can be like, well, I'm 24. This guy's like 5 years old. I'm top dog. I'll play for it. I will earn it.
I do wonder about teams like the Wild or the Islanders. Like I feel like the Sabres throughout this season have kind of been linked to Rossi, who's also an RFA, I believe. A team like that.
He wouldn't want the Islanders. He'd see Noah Dobson.
I mean, Noah Dobson might be out of
That's
there
why.
too.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you think?
I think there's
been-
definitely a possibility that Noah Dobson gets moved.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the Sabres wanted to go RFA for RFA, Marco Rossi, I don't know that I would hate it.
Mario.
And I think he would look pretty good on the Wild.
But like the Wild are one of those teams
Another-
too.
yeah,
like
fair.
like that's just another team that has a lot better defensemen.
Ultimately, that's what gets me to kind of like I think he's just going to end up being on the Buffalo Sabres because like anywhere that he wants to go are not going to be the teams. I think there's if there is a list of teams that he could be a top 2 power play D-man, I think it's those that list is very short of teams that have the things that the Sabres want and would be willing to move off them.
How about Byram for Dobson and Duclair?
I mean, Duclair does nothing for me there, but
I know, but he does nothing for the Islanders
For
right
anybody.
now.
I mean-
So like the deal can be take Duclair's contract.
I mean,
and
they're
then we'll be
gonna
happier.
they would agree to Dobson for Byram straight up, and then Patrick Waugh would barge into the GM's office and be like, "Fucking throw in."
So that's just like I don't think that Byram for Dobson straight up is fair. I think that Buffalo either needs to give more or
take on more.
And I think
How about? I mean, they've got fucking draft picks they don't need. I don't know that I'd be willing to give up the 7th or the 6th overall draft pick, but
Byram to the Red Wings would work as long as he can. I feel bad for Bo Byram. I'm thinking with all these teams, if they even have a good defenseman, I'm like, he's going to be a baby about that. He wants to be like the only defenseman on the team, but maybe that's not where he's coming from. He just wants.
I don't think like if they got rid of Owen Power, I think he'd be fine in Buffalo. Like I think he would be fine being second to.
Well, yeah,
Ooh, LA. Somebody says LA would be perfect for him.
like so that's the thing that I'm thinking is that like he got the most ice time of any skater on Buffalo this year. So it's not a minutes thing. I think it's like a power play thing. He's just not getting run on the power play in Buffalo.
I think you kind of maybe not said it directly, but alluded to it before the show. Like, I think he just wants to set himself up for when he hits to be a UFA to get paid like a PP quarterback, like number 1 D-man.
You know what?
I also just like I know that he wants it. I don't know if he's earned it, and that's like.
Well, I would argue that he doesn't. I don't know that he's earned it, but I think he wants to be in a position to earn it. Like, I don't think he's expecting to get paid like a number 1 team-man right now, but he's not going to have the opportunity to show that he can be that in Buffalo as it stands currently. So I think he would love an opportunity in a place like San Jose or Chicago where he can just show that he can be that and then get paid by whoever as a UFA.
I've got a team for him where he's number one left side defenseman for 1 trillion years.
Go on.
A nice trade partner of the Buffalo Sabres. He's a different player. He's too small. But, like, if they wanted him, what about the Oilers?
Well, I mean, that's what I was kind of...
They need, like, a long-term number one defenseman.
Yeah, as a Bush replacement.
Yeah, like...
No, as an Ekholm replacement.
As an Ekholm replacement?
I mean, he would. I feel like he would have to serve as
I
a
don't
Bush
think he's
replacement.
that good defensively.
Exactly. That's the biggest thing that keeps me from locking that in. But
I don't know who they would trade.
Who, the Oilers?
No. What about the Capitals? It's like obviously they have Chychrun as their number one.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you can't surpass Jacob Chychrun as a number one defenseman, then you're not in a number one defenseman conversation.
I don't think that's fair.
I think that's unfair, especially based off of like the offensive output that Chychrun had this year, and Chychrun was a monster offensively. That's more what I'm looking at. Like, can Bowen Byram probably wants to go to a place where he can be the number one or two best offensive defenseman, and like especially this, like if he were to go there next year, I mean, Carlson's probably his final year with the Caps, maybe next year. But like, if he's behind Chychrun and Carlson, I don't know. I mean, I just don't think ultimately, like, there's going to be plenty of suitors for a guy like Bowen Byram, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity to move up the depth chart, power play wise, offensive wise, across the league. But it's just like, I think ultimately it comes down to what exactly does he want? What exactly is he looking for? And is there a path forward with Buffalo? I think there can be. I think there should be. Like, I would not rush to trade him by any means.
I wouldn't either. I mean, I think you, like, as much as I was talking about like the Middlestat trade of it all, like, I would not trade him unless you are like clearly winning that. Because I think I'm gonna be very few situations where I don't think you're trading the best player in that situation if you're trading Owen Power away or Bo Byram away.
I cannot wait to make so much of this offseason about Bo Byram. Although it could happen now.
I was gonna say, like, he could be traded in a week.
Maybe. Elliot always knows. Okay, Sean, can you do me a favor and give me I want to spend more time on it. Somebody said Chicago, ?
That's what I said, yeah.
Vlasic.
But that's the other.
I was going to say Frank.
What do you
Is that too much?
No, I'm saying Vlasic would be in front of him.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's true. Like, I think that is a situation where he would have it would be like a quarterback competition. He would have an opportunity to prove that he is the number one. The only difference is that they were probably a little more attached to Vlasic. But yeah, I mean, I think there's so many, like, every team could use a Bo Byram. He's a young, offensive, gifted defenseman. But
I mean, you've got Vlasic and Levshinov.
Oh yeah, I did forget about.
I forgot about Levshinov.
Yeah.
I need like Bo Byram. Come on the podcast and
what do you want?
Shoot us straight and clarify to me, because I can't find a team for you, because I have in my head that you are afraid of other defensemen, and that might not be true. So clarify that you want to be the best player, you want to be the best you can be, like anybody, and you welcome any competition. I hate the idea of a guy who's like...
But if he was in that position, would we even be having this conversation? Because got opportunity in Buffalo, and Buffalo should be able to make him a prominent defenseman in their mix. But he's got
I also think
power in front of him.
think as part of it is like not necessarily that he's scared of the players being better than him, but like you look at Buffalo and how much money they have paid those two guys and don't have that financial attachment to Bo yet. Like the worry that there is pressure from higher up being like, we're not paying Owen Power all this fucking money for him to not play on either of the power play units. So like he wouldn't even have the opportunity, even if he is better than them.
Honestly, what other somebody in the chat, Tyler, says Toronto. Toronto would be a very intriguing option because, like, yeah, they have Morgan Riley, but do they love Morgan Riley?
Morgan Wiley, and a lot of the defensemen they have, they're good defensemen, are getting a little long in the tooth.
And
So,
so a lot of them are defensively geared. Like a
Carlo's a UFA at the end of next year.
Tanev, Carlo. Like there could be a fit there.
Resign Marner and then RFA swap. Nice for if you're not going to be able to.
Oh, do not trade Matthew.
No,
Nice
I know.
for Poe and Byram.
No, Sabres definitely winning that trade.
Okay, what other show do you know on Wednesday, May 21st, the United States and Canada does basically like 90 minutes on exclusively Cody Ceci and Byram?
That's
None.
right.
We are unique. Give me the slate, Sean, would you?
Might not be able to. I think software is glitching a little
Oh,
bit.
we're having some software issues. I don't know if that's is that a
I think it might be a computer thing. I don't know.
okay. Well, I can give it to you off the top of my head. On ESPN at 8 p.m. Eastern, you have the Edmonton Oilers visiting Cody Ceci and the Dallas Stars in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. Here's what people won't tell you. Here's what the media won't tell you. This is a rematch of last year's Western Conference Final. Here's another thing that people won't tell you. Dallas Stars are overrated. Good luck to them. They're just a little overrated. Okay? That's all.
This guy's making me want to like really root for Dallas.
Yeah.
Just with this this disrespect is making me want to root for Dallas.
It's not disrespect. I didn't stick to what I had in my heart when I liked the Stars going into the playoffs. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to speak my mind and say how I feel. And maybe shine a light on facts that are being ignored is all. And there's two sides of the coin. You could say, like we said with Ceci, is it, do you need more guys going, or is it like, man, wait until if we're winning without guys going, imagine how sick we're going to be once they are going. We'll find out. We'll find out. I feel good about my guys. Even if they lose tonight, feel good about my guys. Everybody stay healthy. Everybody buckle up. Have a great series. Be good to each other. All right. ESPN and Sportsnet, I apologize, Caleb. It's just that I didn't have the slate up, so I did not know. But Bobby Valentine said what Sean said yesterday. Stars win tonight. Oilers win the series. Dallas is the single hardest test in the playoffs. Still go Oilers.
Worth pointing out, Dallas won Game 1 win in their last 9 attempts.
Dallas
on a winning streak though.
Yes,
in Game 1s.
Hot in Game 1s. They've won 100% of their last Game 1.
When was the last time the Oilers won a Game 1?
Last round. They only lost Game 3.
Oh,
That's
I guess
true.
That's true. Yeah.
Although I was saying, I don't remember what happened in Game 1 of the Vegas series.
I mean, I was like, who did Edmonton play last round? That's how long it has been since we've seen an Edmonton Oilers game.
I think we're going to find out based on what happens this series if maybe something was just going on with Vegas and they were just actually stinky. I don't think so. I think that Hill was, but that was a pretty serious opponent. We'll find out. Caleb says you guys never say Sportsnet. You know what? We can. Sean's saying no.
That's because it's always on Sportsnet.
They're the only rights holder in Canada, and
it's
also
always on
in the United
Sportsnet,
States.
so it doesn't need to be clarified.
They're better. They just do it right. Okay, 11 days, since the Oilers have allowed a goal. Okay, we'll see what happens there. Make sure that you are subscribed everywhere you can be. Pete?
Go ahead and like the video. Amplify us. Hit that thumbs up button right below the video player. Hit the subscribe button. If you're on podcasts, you can leave a 5-star review. You can leave a little blurb. Any way you can appreciate and support us, we will appreciate and support you right back. So thank you very much for listening to the show. And we will talk to you.
No. Wait. This has clung to my microphone, and it smells so good. Sean, do you have breaking news?
Yes. Via David Pagnotta. Word out of Chicago is that the Blackhawks has found their new head coach. All signs point to Jeff Blashill. Oh, an announcement is expected later today or Thursday. So
Jeff Blashill.
I guess it's technically not official, but it seems like it's official.
I'm not sure about this one. Everyone's like, he's going to be so much better the second time around. And then I look and I'm like, was he that good the first time around? I would hope he was better the second time around. He's putting the work, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I've seen a lot of like he's a prime like retread candidate, like better the second time kind of guy.
He
Okay.
was on the Lightning staff. Yes, is that where he's been?
It's always fun to like investigate like after a guy's fired, what is his coaching trail as an assistant?
Do you
It's
remember
we played that game?
who he
didn't we?
coached for?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Shit,
Did we do that this year?
I don't know if that was this year or last year.
I think that was this year.
I think that was this year, like the very beginning of the
yeah.
year.
Thing is, though, it's not as. Oh, yes, it was the beginning of the year. Yeah, I was gonna say we should do it soon, but it has to be a surprise game because if we're like, let's play it tomorrow, we're all just gonna be looking up where everybody coaches.
And I think it has to be at like the beginning of the year because that's when you're like, I have no clue, and this could have all changed over the summer.
Doodle Bob in the chat says, "I'm not gay. Sucks to be you." Lowell says, "Woodcroft was right there." Woodcroft is lurking.
Bruins.
I think it might have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
They are not a big dance partner team, it would seem.
The Bruins seem like they do a lot of stuff. Where they're like, we didn't have a choice, and then it's like, you kind of did. You didn't have to do that, but
Okay, Doodle Bob is now doing bad stuff. Sean, can we get a little
we need to end
image?
the show because I don't have control over the computer right now.
That's
Oh,
right.
right.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Except for you, Doodle Bob. You're out of here. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Let's bring in probably our favorite player.
We all silly like the mayor.